Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
This is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is Django, not to be confused with Django Unchained from 2012. This is Django, the original from 1966. So just want to give everyone a spoiler warning because not that many people have seen this, most likely, even though it's a very old movie.
Most likely, no one has ever seen this or even knew Django Unchained had a movie before it called Django.
Yeah,
But yeah, Django. I'm gonna mess that up probably throughout the whole thing. Django came out in 1966, and it was directed by Sergio Corbucci,
Barbucci.
and it's a spaghetti western. I was telling Kai I wanted to kind of give this little tidbit before we kind of like go into the movie, but there's a whole genre of there's the genre of western, but then there's a subgenre of spaghetti westerns, and primarily that means it was the westerns produced in Europe and mainly like performed or directed and produced by in Italy. And so that it's like this whole like genre from Europe that they kind of like made these westerns on European soils or just from European people and stuff. And so it's pretty interesting to see the dynamic of like making a western that's based in America but uh
Italy.
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Italy, yeah. So yeah,
Because
it's
the
a little
first
tidbit.
the first time I heard about a spaghetti western was because of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they talk about Leonardo DiCaprio's character going to Italy to start making movies because his U.S. career was kind of dwindling, and so he went to Italy to start making spaghetti westerns, and that's how he met his wife.
Oh man, I yeah, see it's like and I think that like in terms of like the Western genre as well. It's like a lot of people started off doing the Westerns, the spaghetti Westerns in Italy, and then kind of came over into the American Westerns that what we see as with Clint Eastwood most of all and stuff.
Yeah,
And Clint Eastwood, I think, put Westerns on the map for America, I think. But
I think he did. Yeah,
hey, yeah, it's like you see like Clint Eastwood. I think one time we went down a rabbit hole of like looking at Clint Eastwood's
those
like kind of
movies.
filmography. Yeah, and he has a lot of great westerns and stuff, that's how he started his movie career, I think. So uh, it's pretty
They're
interesting to know.
classics. We'll give him
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But we're talking about Django in this one, and it's a pretty interesting one. It's from 1966. I think I wanted to start it off also with like the quality of the film. And I think it's because of that digital kind of like it was like done digitally afterwards and stuff because I'm assuming
Mhm.
this thing was filmed on actual film and for
Yeah,
us to be able to watch it through streaming services. I watched it on Peacock, the streaming service and stuff, but I noticed a lot of like the frame will turn green and you'll see like it'll kind of like cut the frame and it'll be like a green kind of overlay and you can tell like the colors kind of coming in or you see like the shadows. It was almost like watching TV on your like
mm.
old TV set that like you know, like push the knob in or something or push the knob out and then kind of turn it, those old style TVs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
to get the right to get the right balance of colors.
Yeah, and then like the bunny ears on it and everything just kept to like no one moves when it's like fine. If someone moves, then we all have to kind of freak out for a little bit.
Just reconfigure the whole thing. Like
Yeah. And he had like three channels. And
We've
then
come a
what
long way.
channel three was always for like if you like hooked up like a game system. It was
Yes,
yeah, it was
I
weird.
forgot about that. Like when we used to play our PlayStation ones. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty funny. But I don't know. Did you have that same experience? However you watched it?
No, no, mine was
Weird.
fine. That's why I was surprised when you brought that up. Like mine was nice and consistent.
Man, that's weird. I wonder if Peacock just has like a shitty version of it.
Bad copy. Hey,
Yeah, I was like thinking, I was like, well, it's from like 1966, but yeah, we are just talking about that like we've seen movies that are older and they don't have any issue, but
yeah,
I wonder Peacock just kind of like, yeah, we're showing it to for you for free and everything, so you'll get the one that we got.
you get what you get. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna go out the way and give the best thing ever.
So yeah, that kind of sucks. But it was just a little minor hiccups and stuff. But also, during I don't know if it was the version I'm watching, but I
Mhm.
noticed that there was actual like fade outs to black, and you can tell it was a cut to like you're watching on TV, like to commercial or something. And then when you
Oh,
came back, when the movie came back, and there was no commercials on the Peacock stream,
yeah.
but at the top left corner, it would say TV 14.
What? Oh, so
Yeah, so
they must have given you like a Peacock version of it. Like, so if you didn't pay for the full version of Peacock, you would get commercials.
maybe. Well,
Or it was
I
just a
did watch it
TV
for free
copy.
through that. I don't know.
Yeah, it might
I
have been
was
a
thinking
TV
like,
copy too.
yeah, like what was it? Something that's how they showed it on TV.
If they had the TV 14, then most likely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is an interesting watch.
Just get distracted by that on the top of the screen. Like,
Right.
what?
But yeah, well, you can kind of we can kind of get into it. Like what'd you think about the movie and what'd you like most?
I enjoyed it. Like, I have some notes outside of what I liked. Like, Brother Jonathan was a piece of shit.
Oh, the one guy that carries the Bible and stuff, the first guy
Yeah,
that they showed basically, right?
yeah. He was a piece of
Yeah.
shit.
That guy
And
was
I'm
a
glad he
douche.
died.
Yeah. Well, first got his ear cut off and then died.
Yeah. But I think didn't they cut someone's ear off in Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah, they did. I remember
Okay.
the that was like what that gruesome scene where like they cut his ear off and he like talked into it and he's like, "Hey, do you still hear me?"
Like, some of the things that happened in this movie reminded me of other Tarantino movies. Like, there was that, like the ear cutting off. There was the shot where they subframed the doorway and someone's running. No, 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 not the doorway. They the the gang that was wearing red, they had like a couple of guys, couple of Mexican guys, and they had them run. And one of the guys was running up the mountain,
Yeah.
and the main guy waited. The general waited for a second, then shot him, and that reminded me of the opening scene of Inglorious Bastards when that girl runs out of the house. The Jewish girl runs out the house.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder I that's sort of the reason why we watched this movie to see with Quentin Tarantino making and directing Django Unchained, like what little tidbits did he take from this movie?
Definitely took
And
that
I
song.
that yeah, well, that was like that's definitely one of the best things for me, the best takeaways for this film Django is that
Mm-hmm.
song. I think
Song was
that kind of
amazing.
adds it. It's almost like yeah, it's amazing. It adds to the luster and like the character of Django.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the story is that he's trying to bury Django,
Yeah.
uh, and so he's trying to just get away from the whole notoriety because people know him because of his name. Um, but yeah, it's like I we watched this to see as to like what he kind of took from this original movie
Mm-hmm.
into Django Unchained, and it's pretty interesting to know that like how like those little like kind of ways of like how he took some of those shots and integrated into not even Django Unchained, but some of his
Yeah.
other
Just a
movies too.
different movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Did you? And let me ask you this. I don't know if you're done with like how you liked it, but this kind of came to mind when he's dragging. So he drags around this coffin,
Mm-hmm.
and so at first the barkeep was like, "Are you like a coffin maker?" And he's
Yeah.
like, so to speak, and everything. So, but it's like he's carrying around this like big
Machine
old
gun.
kind of machine gun inside of it. But did you take that as like a like it I don't know if you ever seen the movie Desperado with
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and so he's always
He has
carrying
his guitar
around
case.
the good yeah. So I was like, man, I
I
wonder
didn't
if
even
that's
think
like
about
another
that.
reference too.
That
Like,
has to be.
yeah, it has to be. It's like, but it's
Because Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino seem like they they're good friends and they work together a lot. So,
yeah.
and they
Yeah, it seems
always
like
watch movies. Yeah. Even
the
though he,
same wavelength.
yeah. Because Tarantino's in, no, he's not in Desperado. He's in Dawn.
The one with the vampires, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Dawn, the Dead Dusk to Dusk Till
Dust
Dawn,
Till
something like
Dawn,
that.
yes.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a piece
But
of shit in that.
yeah, it's funny when he like decides to act in things and stuff and he like
Yeah.
He has like a whole. And it's funny when he puts himself like it's all odd to like have directors like put themselves into their own movies too.
But they all do it.
They
Freaking
do,
Todd
yeah,
Phillips.
yeah.
Like you still haven't seen Due Date, which I'm still angry about, but Todd Phillips is in that, and he has like an afro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sleeping with like this drug dealer who's played by heck is that lady's name? She's not in True Romance. She's in Natural Born Killers.
Oh, okay.
This is like we're
Interesting.
playing 6 degrees of freaking Tarantino right now.
Yeah, right. But man, but Django,
Juliette Lewis.
huh?
Juliette Lewis.
Julia Lewis.
Juliette.
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Django, uh I
It was
really
action
liked.
packed.
Yeah, I think so. It was fun to kind of see him kind of like be that like quintessential like brooding tough guy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he's like I'm Django and that's me and stuff and be the quick draw too. And I think that was
Yeah.
another highlight that's like it was almost like his superpower where he was very good at like shooting off his like his revolver and stuff. So it was fun to see that. And then like to the soundtrack to one of my best points is that theme song. It starts off with that theme song
And then it
and it
ends with
just
it.
it ends with it, but then you see
Yeah.
like, you hear like little like tidbits of it as like oh you're like you have to like pay attention to what he's gonna do because like I think a
Mm-hmm.
little bit comes up when he's like fighting that dude in the bar and after like they steal all the money and
Oh,
everything. So the
not the
guy that gets
general.
all no, but like the dude that tries to hit on the
Oh, the
girl.
prostitute.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like they like you hear like little tidbits of it while like during that those scenes. And so you kind of like you're almost kind of like conditioned to be like, oh, like this is like a
Things
part
about to
for
go
like
down.
Chingo and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So
that's that was my bit.
didn't didn't the general die?
The Mexican general.
No, I know the Mexican general died, but the mask, the mask clan.
The main dude from the clan.
Yeah, didn't they had like a whole gunfight in the beginning, and he was shot, and I thought he died, but then he came back in the end and killed the Mexican general.
Well, I think he shot the horse in the
Ah,
beginning when like he when
ah,
they all came. I think he that yeah, that
yeah.
was like a weird thing where like you I think he shot the
Everybody came back.
horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he ran off and stuff. And
Okay, that makes more
but it
sense.
wasn't him. Yeah, that's yeah, I can see how that can be that like that's sort of what goes down to like my like sort of dislike of it. Like other than
Mm,
Django, like the guy that plays, which is Franco Nero, the main
yeah.
character of Django, some of the acting is not very good in terms of like how they died and everything. Like I don't know, or like the like going back to the scene where like they beat up the dude, like he beats up the dude in the bar. Like I don't know,
Hmm.
or he just falls over. Like, is he dead or what? Like like I know people died like randomly back then, but
Yeah, but not like
yeah,
that.
just out of nowhere.
Well, I'm still wondering how. So Django got beat down. Like they destroyed Django's hands,
Oh yeah.
and then he was okay to start murdering people with his gun again. Like he just took off the little cover for the trigger cover, and he was back to killing people.
Well, he just like leaned it up against that
Ay, ay,
headstone and everything.
ay. And he
Just
didn't get
push.
shot behind a
Yeah.
headstone. Like, come on,
I know
come
one of those
on.
bullets. I was like, one of those bullets could have gone through the headstone
Had
and
to
just hit him.
graze him. Yeah, like come on, Django.
But those are the concessions that you need to go with. And also back then it was 1966, so I think that was sort of like what probably came with these like these spaghetti westerns is like, oh, you have like a sort of a cobbled together story
Hmm.
that just has like this main kind of dude or person, and then they just like shoot a bunch of people, and it's like, all right, well, that's the story. That's what you came for, and everything.
This works. This is gonna make us a lot of money.
Yeah, like a whole bunch. I'm trying to I tried looking up real quick before this is like how much the budget was to film this thing. I can't find an
Hmm.
actual number, but I just wonder like how much of a budget did they have and stuff. And they did have a
Probably not
lot of
much.
people.
Yeah, they had a bunch of, but
Yeah,
they were overseas, so they didn't really have to pay him much.
true, probably. And then they just found like a place that like had all the places they can film their scenes. And it's probably like one area and they just built a little town kind of like in that area and stuff and filmed around and but I just wonder like how much money did they have like to do all this stuff and I don't know if you noticed with the machine gun like
Mhm.
both sides of the bullets like the band of bullets that went into the gun both
Hmm.
sides had like brand new bullets like they like the thing
Yeah,
never moved and
never moved.
everything.
Yeah, that made no sense.
But yeah, but it was an I don't know. I kind of went into the things I disliked about the movie, but I kind of like took it over with that. But would you find?
That I disliked. I
And
think
or
everything we just mentioned.
yeah.
Like overall, I enjoyed it. Like it was fun. Like it wasn't something like it wasn't Persona. Like it wasn't like a very artful movie,
Nah.
but it was fun. Like we said, action packed. It was a cut and dry story. Like things just happened very quickly, fast paced. Um, I put down like the town was reminiscent of Django Unchained. Uh, yeah, that only dislikes were what we had talked about, like the minor things of the things they couldn't really do in 1966 that they probably would have fixed if they would have shot it now.
Yeah, or if they wanted to go for a different movie, and I think it is a point to like these probably are the movies that they wanted to make and stuff, and it's like it was very to the point and everything, and it was just to showcase their main character Django, and bring it make it fun for everyone that's watching it and stuff, and
Hmm.
people know what they watch. It's like the you talked about like the first time you heard about spaghetti westerns was from Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
What my first job when I was a kid, we had a security guard and the security guard loved he just said like I asked him one time I was like you know as you like you're working you kind of get to know people I was working at a store and you start to get to know the people around you the other storekeepers and then the security guard so I asked the security guard after knowing him for a while and I was like what do you do like outside of work and stuff and he's like oh he's like I love spaghetti westerns and I
Mm,
was like interesting he's like oh I just go home watch some spaghetti westerns and stuff, and I go to sleep, and he loved them,
mm.
and that was the first time like I've ever heard of like I was like, what is a spaghetti western? And he was like, yeah, you know those westerns that you see now, those things suck, and he loved spaghetti westerns. But I get what he meant. It's if you want to kind of put something on the TV and just sit back, relax, and have a beer and stuff, and or whatever.
Yeah,
This is probably a good one.
yeah, yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah.
Because it's one you don't have to. You're not going to miss anything if you look away for a second.
No, no, yeah. And you're not
Like,
gonna really miss anything if you don't even like pay attention to the story.
yeah, like it's just one of those ones that it's just yeah, fun, a quick. Like it was 1 hour 30 exactly, almost.
Yeah, right. I honestly, and it's funny. Maybe it's probably the negative. I thought it was kind of long. There was a point
Really.
at the end where I was like, man, this is kind of going long for a long time, and I thought it was an hour and 30 minutes.
Hmm.
And I don't know. There was a point in my head where I was like, it should like an hour and 30 minutes should have gone by now. And I don't know if it was just like towards the end, you're like, all right, well, like the guy he lost all the gold and whatever. Like, who cares? What
Yeah,
are
he
you gonna
ended up
do
with
about it and
nothing.
everything? Yeah. So I was more sad. I was like, in terms of like the worst thing in the whole story, I was sad that the barkeep had to die. Like, come on.
He was the one that was chill the whole movie. He still
Yeah.
got murdered.
I remember the time. I don't know. I thought it was like super funny when like, uh, when Django is outside when he's like when he told the general to bring his 40 or so men back and like
Yo,
I'll
and he's behind the
we'll deal with
log.
it. He's behind the log, and then the barkeep's out there, and he's like, "Hey man, like, how about you just like go away and like we don't die?" And then Django's like, "Oh well, this is the only way I can do it." And the barkeep turns around, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna die. He just walks away.
The most random thing was the freaking the prostitutes fighting each other in the
Oh,
mud.
right.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like they all just told each other, all right, wait, let's just punch one, and then the other one starts punching and stuff, and
Fall
then the
in the
other one
dirt.
runs like I don't know, like 100 feet in like heels through the mud. I was surprised that I don't know how many takes that took for them not to fall on their face in the mud
Oh
during
my
that whole
goodness.
shot.
Can only imagine. It was such a
Yeah,
mess.
right. But it was fun. I think
Yeah,
the main character. It's funny. I think you told me that the main character or the actor Franco Nero
Franco. Yeah.
shows up in Django Unchained, right?
Yeah. He's in Candyland at the
Is
bar.
that what it's called? The bar, the Candyland.
Candyland is Leonardo DiCaprio's house.
Oh, I have to watch the
That
movie
when they
again.
had the Mandingo fight, he's at the
Yes,
bar.
yes. Yeah, that's like nice little tidbit that like Quentin Tarantino he probably was like, I have to get this guy.
Yeah.
Have
I
him
need
show up
Franco
somewhere.
Nero.
Yeah, right.
Get him out of retirement and have him in my movie.
The guy's still alive, actually. I was looking him up after the movie ended. I was like, man, this I'm surprised. He is 81 years old right now.
Goodness.
Yeah, so
Alive
he's
and
from
kicking.
he's from Italy too. Um, but yeah, it was like I think that's like a kind of like a nice little thing to have in as Tarantino if he's like doing like sort of like how would you consider or how would you categorize Django Unchained? Is it just like a retelling of the story, or it's technically its own story, but like
Yeah.
is it like it's not a sequel,
It's not a
like
sequel. It's I think it's a retelling because in Django Unchained, Django's a slave. He's black. He's in a well, yeah, he's in America. I guess he's an American both. No, he's in Mexico in Django.
well, it
But
goes back and
Django,
forth, and they're like at the border, and so like sometimes they're in Mexico. That was like another hard thing to like distinguish was like
no,
where
when
are
they
they
were
right now?
where,
Are they in
yeah.
Mexico or are they in America? Um, but but yeah,
But I think it was more of a retelling.
yeah, right.
Like he because then they had the clan. Like they have a clan in this one, the Mask Clan. And I guess they had the Mask Clan, but the Mask Clan in Django Unchained became the KKK or the Ku Klux Klan.
Well,
Um,
technically, Peacock, the description of Django
mhm.
said the KKK that
Oh, really?
because I was like it's weird like why are they using red hoods and
Yeah.
masks. I was like is that like I wonder if they're like we don't want to kind of like actually show them as the clan and everything, but to kind of have it where but so I kind of also take it like what comes to mind also is the Watchmen, the TV show
HBO.
from HBO,
Yeah.
where like they have the clan in it, but no, they're actually they don't they have like white hoods too? No, I'm
They have the white mask,
yeah.
but they have the ink blot.
Yeah, that's why I was like it's kind of like I guess it's like a good way like to not like proliferate the
Yeah.
clan symbol, but also but like
Still
to just
show
have it.
them.
It's almost like having Russians in your movie and everything. Like people can always like, oh, that's the Russians and stuff. Like
Mm,
even though you're trying to hide if you try to hide it and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, that was them in the supposedly that was a description from Peacock.
Okay. Yeah, because this the one from Letterbox. It says the merciless masked clan.
Interesting. See, man, I guess they gotta have like consistency across the board.
Yeah. Let us know who they are. Who is Django fighting?
But I think that's
Is
a good way to like I like how Tarantino does that. It's other people do it, but I think
mhm.
Tarantino's very good at like taking these like old or like obscure stories that
Yeah,
like
and
he
making it his own.
loved, yeah, and making it his own and stuff and all that. But I think he does it well in his what 12 movies that he's done.
Yeah. I think he's only done like technically 9, and then now he's finished with the script of 10. So they're supposed to start shooting soon.
Oh, is he supposed to be doing 10? For some reason I had
Yeah.
13 in my mind.
I think he has other ones that he like wrote, but he didn't direct them, like Natural Born
Okay.
Killers, True Romance, all
But
that
he's
good
trying
stuff.
to end at 10 directing,
10
right?
that are his, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Written
And
and
yeah, that was
directed.
a big thing. Like I read recently that he finished writing the script for his last
Yeah.
one. So that's kind of nice.
I will be there on opening day.
And I think so. I think anybody has to, or
Yeah.
everybody has to. But but yeah, would you buy this movie for your personal movie collection in the little the corner of your collection called for westerns?
I I liked it. Okay, I think I would actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
I think I would buy it if I bought Django Unchained.
Oh,
Like
like
if
a
I'm
package
out
deal.
buying, yeah, Django
Hmm.
Unchained, just buy Django because it's like, all right, this is where Quentin Tarantino got the idea
Yeah.
and kind of like made it his own. And I think that's like for me, that's like the only way I would kind of present both of them in a collection.
Mm.
I guess you
That
kind of
does
have
make
to,
sense. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Hmm. But what'd you end up rating it?
Uh, 2.5,
Oh,
3.
okay,
Yeah. What
okay.
about you?
I gave it two.
Okay.
I don't know if it was because the acting. I was like, this acting is not like it's not doing it for me. But and then the the un, the clarity of like where they were in the country.
Hmm.
Like I was like, where is this like general guy? Like, is he in Mexico? And that's why like they don't want to go back to Mexico. So I was unclear with all that stuff. So I gave it a two, more so probably because like if you look at the spectrum of like westerns,
Hmm.
I think you can find much better westerns,
Oh, for sure.
you
Yeah.
know. But then also in the whole spectrum of movies and stuff. But it's enjoyable. I think no matter what, I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for sure fun. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I tried to pause us.
No. Yeah, but it's like I think also like telling someone to watch this movie, I think you have to like know this individual like likes westerns. They're shooting little pop guns at each other and stuff and all this.
I think
There's
it's
no bad words.
yeah, I think if it's someone that's seen Django Unchained and enjoyed Django Unchained, you ask them like, have you ever seen where this idea, where Django originated from? And you tell them about this. That's be
Yeah, I
someone
think
that's
so.
into movies. It's not going to be like a casual movie watcher that's going to be like, oh yeah, let me watch Django from 1966.
Right? Yeah, I don't think people like that or just anybody like wanting to like watch more modern movies, like they're probably not gonna go out of their way to.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to know where like Tarantino got his ideas and probably some other movies took their references from too. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of these older movies are being referenced everywhere, or we're also
Oh yeah.
retelling them. A lot of directors don't really uh,
Have new ideas.
do yeah, a lot of writers don't have their own ideas nowadays.
Just pull from the
Um
60s. We're good.
yeah, it's long
No
enough.
one knows
It's
this.
like
Someone
no one
remembers the
knows.
60s.
Yeah, that was so long ago, no one knows and everything. but but yeah, I think it's like just to to like tell someone to watch this movie. It's like it's just have fun with it.
Hmm.
Just put it on and stuff, and just if you want to have like a whole Western, we did this because we wanted to have like a whole Western kind of like theme to some of our podcasts and stuff. And the next one we are watching is it's a long title. It's
Yeah.
the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Hmm.
And I think that that's sort of where my thought process with the rating was. It's like, I think, I don't know, I kind of, it's hard to like fault people on cinematography when you don't know how much money they had and stuff, and like they're kind of making do with what they got
Yeah,
and stuff. But
especially back then too. Like the technology
true.
wasn't there.
Yeah. So, but what was the movie that we 310 to Yuma? Like that's from 56, so 10
Yeah,
years before, and had some pretty decent cinematography. Um so that's sort of like my thought process for that, but I'm
it's also in the
assuming
Criterion collection.
that's true. Yeah, so yeah,
This one
maybe.
is not.
I don't know,
So
you never
you
know,
can
man.
you can tell the difference in quality right there.
And that's
The
the
great
like,
movie, yeah, great movie, but yeah, it's not wasn't acclaimed enough to be put into the Criterion collection.
yeah, but so I'm assuming down the road, like the assassination, the next movie that we're gonna be watching, I'm assuming it's gonna be like more cinematography to it and everything. Granted, it's like a newer movie, so like
Yeah,
you have more things you can kind of go about, and probably had an
digital
exorbitant amount
cameras.
of like multiples of the budget that
Oh,
that
for
Django
sure.
had probably too.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
multiple cameras too. Like
yeah, so yeah, that's true. But yeah. Any last words about Django?
check it out.
Yeah, I think so. I think check it out and stuff, and know that Franco Nero is still in movies today too.
Yeah, alive and kicking.
Yeah. So all right, Kai. You want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one.